Noah Carter knew they were coming. He had felt it in his bones for days. 17 years on the run had given him a sixth sense for danger. He moved quickly through the abandoned mining outpost, grabbing only what he needed: medicine, battery cells, and protein packs. The small moon of Tertius was supposed to be safe. No hegemony patrols had been reported in this sector for months. Noah had been careful, arriving during the moon's long night cycle, when his ship's heat signature would blend with the natural thermal vents. But something had gone wrong. Maybe his ship left a trace. Maybe someone talked. It didn't matter now. Noah stuffed the last of the supplies into his bag and checked his old pistol. The charge showed only 30%, enough for a few shots, but not enough for a real fight. Not against them. He slipped through the narrow corridors of the outpost, his footsteps light despite his large frame. At 35, Noah was still strong, still fast. He had to be. Being the last human meant everyone wanted him dead. The first explosion rocked the outpost as Noah reached the back exit. Dust and small rocks fell from the ceiling. They were being less careful than usual. They must be very sure he was here. Perimeter secured. Commander. A harsh voice echoed through the corridors. Thermal scans show one life form. Matches human patterns. Noah pressed himself against the wall and controlled his breathing. The Vexorans were excellent hunters with enhanced senses. Any sound, any smell could give him away. Outside, through a small crack in the wall, he could see their ships. 3 patrol vessels and 1 larger command ship. Too many. Far too many for one human. The last one, another voice said. This one was smooth, almost pleasant, but Noah knew it well from propaganda broadcasts. Commander Zrichtal, the self-proclaimed human hunter, responsible for tracking down and eliminating the last pockets of humanity across the galaxy. Noah slipped through the back exit and into the moon's cold night. If he could reach the lava fields 2 miles south, he might have a chance to lose them in the heat signatures. He made it 300 yards before the spotlight found him. Human detected. Sector 7. A harsh voice again, now excited with the thrill of the hunt. Noah ran faster than he had in years. His lungs burned in the thin atmosphere. The ground shook as drop pods landed around him, cutting off escape routes. The first stun blast missed him by inches. The second clipped his shoulder, sending painful spasms down his left arm. Still, he ran. The lava fields were close now. Noah could see the orange glow just ahead. 20 more seconds, and he might. The blast hit him directly in the back. Noah fell hard, his body seizing as the neural disruptor did its work. He tried to move, but his muscles wouldn't respond. All he could do was breathe and blink. Boots crunched on the rocky ground around him. A face moved into his limited field of vision. Scaled skin with a blue-green sheen. Yellow eyes with vertical pupils. Commander Zrichtal himself. Noah Carter, the commander said, satisfaction clear in his voice. The last human. How disappointing that you were so easy to find. Noah wanted to respond, to spit in the alien's face, but his body remained frozen. Secure him, Zrichtal ordered. Full neural restraints. The council wants this one alive for the public execution. Strong hands lifted Noah. As they carried him toward the command ship, he focused on one thing only: the small implant at the base of his skull, hidden from their scans by bone and special materials. It had sensed his capture and was already activating. The last human had been seized, but the galaxy had no idea what was coming next. The prison ship hummed as it moved through space. Noah sat in a cell made of clear, unbreakable material. His hands and feet were bound by energy cuffs that buzzed when he moved too much. 3 days had passed since his capture on Tertius. Outside his cell, aliens of different species walked by. Some stared at him with hate. Others looked curious, as if seeing a rare animal. Noah kept his face blank, giving them nothing. "It's time for your session," a guard said, opening the cell. 2 more guards stood ready, weapons aimed at Noah. They led him down a long hallway to a room with a single chair in the center. The chair had restraints built into it. Noah knew this room well by now. Vera Nix waited inside. She was an Aetherian, tall and slender with pale blue skin and eyes that seemed to glow. Aetherians were known for their mind powers. They could pull thoughts from others with just a touch. "Sit," she said. Her voice was soft but firm. Noah sat in the chair. The restraints closed around his arms and legs automatically. "We will continue from yesterday," Vera said, moving behind him. "Think about any human outposts you know, any places where others like you might hide." Her cool fingers touched Noah's temples. The familiar pressure began in his head, like someone was pushing through his thoughts. Noah had been trained for this. He focused on memories that would tell her nothing useful. The taste of an apple from Earth, the sound of rain on a roof, the feel of wind on his face. Vyra pushed harder. "You're hiding something. Show me where the others are." Noah almost laughed. There were no others. He truly was the last, as far as he knew. But he wouldn't give her that satisfaction. Instead, he let her see the day his family died during the first wave of attacks. The burning buildings, the screams, his mother pushing him into a hidden compartment. "Stay quiet," she had said. It was the last time he saw her. Vyra pulled her hands away. Noah noticed something unusual in her eyes. Was it doubt? Pity? "You've seen enough death for one day," she said quietly. "We'll continue tomorrow." As the guards took Noah back to his cell, he noticed a different alien watching him from a doorway. This one looked like a trill, with spotted skin and ridge-like features. But something about the way it looked at Noah seemed off. Later that night, as most of the ship slept, Noah lay on his hard bed and counted the stars visible through his cell's small window. The implant at the base of his skull had grown warmer. He could feel it working, sending out silent signals. But to what? To whom? Even Noah didn't know exactly what would happen next. A soft tap drew his attention. The trill from earlier stood outside his cell, checking that no guards were nearby. "My name is Jack Lowe," the alien whispered. "I'm here to help you." Noah sat up slowly. "You're not Trill." Jack smiled. "No, I'm what you might call a sympathizer. Some of us don't agree with what the hegemony did to humans." "Why help me?" Noah asked. "Because I've seen the records they hide. Humans weren't the monsters they claim you were." Jack glanced down the hallway. "Also, something strange is happening on this ship. Systems malfunctioning. Communication errors, all centered around you." Noah said nothing, but he felt the implant pulse slightly. "We arrive at Saltera in 3 days," Jack continued. "That's where they'll execute you. But I have friends there. We might have a chance." Before Noah could respond, Jack hurried away as a guard approached. Noah lay back down, mind racing. For the first time in years, something like hope flickered in his chest. The implant was working. And he wasn't as alone as he'd thought. Across the galaxy, things were waking up. On a small moon orbiting a gas giant, a long-dormant relay station powered on. In the ruins of an abandoned mining colony, lights flickered for the first time in decades. Deep inside an asteroid field, a hidden weapons cache began running system checks. None of these events were noticed immediately. The galaxy was vast, and the hegemony's eyes could not watch everything. But they would notice soon enough. On Saltera, the hegemony's capital planet, Science Officer Ella Martinez stood at her workstation in the Central Archives. To everyone around her, she looked like a normal Proximan, tall with coppery skin and 4 fingers on each hand. No one knew she wasn't what she appeared to be. An alert flashed on her screen. A signal pattern she had been waiting years to see. "Is everything all right, Officer Martinez?" her supervisor asked, noticing her sudden stillness. "Yes, sir. Just an unusual data pattern I'm analyzing," she replied calmly. When the supervisor moved away, Ella's fingers flew across her console. She entered a series of codes that gave her access to the restricted archives, the true records of humanity, not the propaganda the hegemony spread. The signal was coming from a prison transport ship headed to Xaltera. The last human had been captured. But more importantly, the final phase of Project Phoenix had begun. Ella sent a coded message to her contacts, then cleared her screen. She had 4 days to prepare before the ship arrived. Meanwhile, on the prison ship, Noah sat through another session with Vera Nix. Today, her probing felt different, less aggressive, more curious. "Your species created such beautiful things," Vera said quietly. "I saw music in your memories yesterday. Songs unlike anything in our records." Noah said nothing. This could be a trick. "The Council says humans were violent conquerors," Vera continued. "But that's not what I see in your mind." "What do you see?" Noah asked, speaking for the first time in one of their sessions. "People who loved, who created, who explored." She leaned closer. People who were feared not for their violence, but for their potential. A knock at the door interrupted them. Commander Zrichtal entered, his scaled face showing displeasure. "That's enough for today," he ordered. The prisoner returns to his cell. As the guards led Noah away, he noticed Zrichtal speaking harshly to Vera. The commander was not happy with her approach. Back in his cell, Noah found something small under his thin pillow, a data chip. He palmed it carefully, making sure the guards didn't see. That night, when the corridor was empty, Jack Lowe appeared again. "Did you find it?" Jack whispered. Noah nodded, showing the chip. "It's a map of Xaltera," Jack explained, "and information about your public trial. The Grand Minister Calyx himself will attend. They're making your execution a galaxy-wide event." "How comforting," Noah said dryly. "There's more," Jack added. "The ship's been experiencing more malfunctions. The captain thinks we've picked up a virus from the moon where they found you. But I know better." Jack nodded toward the back of Noah's neck. "It's that implant, isn't it? It's doing something." Noah hesitated, then decided to trust Jack. "It's sending a signal, waking things up." "What things?" "I don't know exactly. It was a last resort plan. They didn't tell me everything." Noah leaned closer to the clear wall. "But I know it's connected to the truth. The real reason humans were hunted down." Jack looked troubled. "Some of us have suspected the official story was false. That humans weren't destroyed because you were dangerous, but because you discovered something. Something the hegemony doesn't want anyone to know." Noah agreed. A distant alarm sounded, and Jack quickly moved away from the cell. Noah clutched the data chip tightly. 2 more days until Xaltera. 2 more days until whatever was coming arrived. The prison ship entered Xaltera's orbit with a damaged engine and failing systems. 3 repair crews had worked nonstop for the last day of the journey, but the mysterious malfunctions continued. Captain Drav, a veteran hegemony officer, had never seen anything like it. "It's as if the ship itself rejects the human," he muttered to Commander Zrichtal. From his holding cell, Noah watched the blue-green planet grow larger through his window. Xaltera, the jewel of the hegemony, home to over 30 alien species living in apparent harmony. The same harmony they claimed humans had threatened. The implant at the base of Noah's skull now felt hot, almost burning. Its signal had grown stronger as they approached the planet. Noah didn't know why, but something important waited on Xaltera. Guards came for him as the ship prepared to dock. They placed him in heavier restraints, a full-body harness that limited his movement to small, shuffling steps. "The Council doesn't want to take chances with you," one guard sneered. "Half the planet will be watching your arrival." Noah was led to the ship's exit ramp. Through the viewports, he could see the massive landing pad below, filled with security forces and broadcasting drones. His execution would be a spectacle, a final victory over humanity. As the ramp lowered, Commander Zrichtal stepped beside Noah. "This is a proud moment for the hegemony," he said. "The end of the human threat. Your species was a mistake the galaxy is correcting." Noah looked directly into the commander's yellow eyes. You have no idea what you've done by bringing me here. Drick-Tall laughed. Empty threats from an extinct species. The ramp touched down, and Noah was pushed forward into the bright sunlight of Saltera. Thousands of aliens had gathered to see the last human. Their voices rose in a mixture of jeers and curious murmurs. As Noah's feet touched the ground of Saltera, his implant pulsed once, hard. Pain shot through his body, making him stumble. At the same moment, power fluctuations rippled across the spaceport. Lights flickered. Communication systems crackled with static. In the crowd, Ella Martinez felt a small device in her pocket vibrate. The signal had reached full strength. She slipped away from the gathering, moving quickly toward her assigned position. Noah was loaded into an armored transport vehicle. 2 guards sat across from him, weapons ready. The vehicle began moving through the city's main thoroughfare, giving citizens a chance to see the prisoner. Through the window, Noah saw the gleaming towers and sweeping arches of the alien capital. It was beautiful in its way, but built on lies, built on the ashes of humanity. The transport suddenly swerved, nearly tipping over. The driver shouted something about the controls not responding. For just a moment, Noah felt the vehicle's systems connect with his implant. He could sense the electrical pathways, the flow of data. Then it was gone. What's happening? One guard demanded, pressing his communicator. Control, we have an issue with the transport. Only static answered him. The vehicle stopped in the center of a large plaza. Outside, confused crowds gathered as other systems began failing. Public screens that normally displayed hegemony announcements went blank, then showed unusual symbols, old human writing that few in the galaxy would recognize. The guards looked nervous now. This can't be coincidence, one muttered. The transport doors suddenly unlocked and slid open. Standing outside was Jack Lowe, no longer appearing as a Trill but now wearing the uniform of a hegemony security officer. Next to him stood a woman Noah didn't recognize. Noah Carter, the woman said quietly. I'm Ella Martinez. We have exactly 3 minutes before backup systems engage. Come with us if you want to live. Noah felt his restraints click open. The implant at the base of his skull cooled, its work temporarily complete. The guards reached for their weapons, but Jack was faster. A small device in his hand emitted a pulse that left them unconscious. How? Noah asked as he stepped from the transport. Later, Ella said, guiding him quickly toward a side street. Right now, we need to move. The awakening has begun, and the hegemony is about to learn what they've done. Alarms blared across the city as Noah, Ella, and Jack raced through narrow back streets. Above them, security drones buzzed in confusion, their systems affected by the same mysterious interference that had disrupted the transport. In here, Ella said, pointing to a service door built into the side of a tall building. She placed her hand on a scanner, and the door slid open. Inside was a small room filled with screens and equipment. Another person waited there, a tall, muscular man with the distinctive ridged forehead of the Krell species. This is Ben Rodriguez, Ella explained. He's with us. Noah eyed the man suspiciously. Another disguise. Ben smiled, revealing teeth that were too straight and white for a Krell. Not exactly. I'm part human, part Krell. My grandmother escaped the purge, hid her identity, had a family. Most people like me don't even know what we are. This was news to Noah. There are others with human blood. More than the hegemony knows, Ben said. They thought they could erase humanity, but genes find a way. Ella moved to a console and began typing rapidly. We don't have much time. The backup systems will restore full functionality in less than an hour. We need to be off-planet by then. Where are we going? Noah asked. The implant in your head is sending coordinates, Ella explained. We need to follow them. But I don't know what they mean or where they lead, Noah protested. Jack placed a small device against the back of Noah's neck, near the implant. It beeped softly. Now we do. he said, showing a string of numbers to Ella. Noah rubbed his neck. How long have you all been planning this? Decades, Ella said. Project Phoenix was put in motion before I was born. We've been waiting for the signal. For you. On the screens around them, Noah could see chaos spreading across the city. The strange symbols had multiplied, now appearing on every public display. Some screens showed old scenes from Earth, oceans, forests, cities filled with humans going about their lives. They're remembering, Jack said softly. The systems are remembering Earth. A loud bang on the outer door made them all jump. Security forces, Ben said, checking the small monitor. At least 6 of them. Ella pressed a button, and part of the wall slid open to reveal a hidden passage. This way, it leads to the research hangar. They hurried through the passage as the banging on the door grew louder. Noah's legs ached after days of confinement on the prison ship, but adrenaline kept him moving. Why me? He asked as they ran. Why was I chosen for this implant? You weren't the only one, Ella explained between breaths. There were others, but you're the only one who survived long enough for it to activate fully. They emerged into a vast hangar filled with various spacecraft. Ella led them toward a sleek, mid-sized research vessel with the name Astral Horizon printed on its hull. That's our ship, she said. The hegemony has been using it to study recovered human technology. Seems fitting we take it back. As they approached the ship, a voice called out behind them. Stop right there. They turned to see Vera Nix, the Aetherian telepath from the prison ship. She stood alone, without guards, her hands raised, but not in a threatening way. Vera, Noah said, how did you find us? I followed the traces of your mind, she said. You left impressions during our sessions. She took a step closer. The things I saw in your memories, they changed me. The hegemony lied about humans. Jack raised his weapon slightly. Why are you here? To help, Vera said simply. And to come with you. I've seen what's in Noah's mind. There are others out there, aren't there? More humans. Noah looked at Ella, who nodded slightly. We don't know for sure, Noah told Vera. But my implant is detecting something, and we're going to find out what it is. Suddenly, the hangar doors began to close. Security alarms intensified. Decision time, Ben said urgently. Do we trust her? Noah stared at Vera, remembering how she had treated him during their sessions, with growing curiosity and respect. Yes, he said finally. She comes with us. The Astral Horizon broke through Salterra's atmosphere, with security ships in hot pursuit. Inside the cockpit, Jack handled the controls with surprising skill, while Ella worked on disabling the tracking systems. How long until they catch us? Noah asked, watching the enemy ships on the scanner. They won't, Jack said confidently. This ship has been modified with recovered human tech. It's faster than anything the hegemony has. As if to prove his point, Jack pushed the engines to full power. The stars outside stretched into lines as the ship jumped to speeds the pursuers couldn't match. We have maybe 2 hours before they organize a proper fleet response, Ben said from the weapons station. Where exactly are we going? Ella connected a small device to the ship's navigation system, the same device that had read Noah's implant. These coordinates point to a system in the restricted zone. No name, no records. It's been blocked from all official star charts. The void, Vera said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. That's what the hegemony calls it, a section of space deemed too dangerous for travel. But I've seen high-level communications about patrols that monitor its edges. What are they watching for? Noah asked. Something they fear, Vera replied. Something they've been containing for 50 years. The ship's common area had a large viewing screen. Noah stood before it, watching the stars fly by. His implant felt different now, not hot or pulsing, but humming steadily, like it was satisfied with their course. Why did the hegemony really destroy humanity? Noah asked Vera when she joined him at the screen. You saw things in my mind. But there must be things in the hegemony's records too. Vira hesitated. The official story was that humans were aggressive, dangerous, unpredictable, that you would eventually threaten all other species. And the truth. I only know pieces, she admitted. But from what I've gathered, humans weren't destroyed because you were a threat. You were destroyed because you discovered something. Something about the origins of our technology, our history. Ben appeared in the doorway. We've got another problem. The implant signal is getting stronger, but it's also broadcasting more widely now. It's like a beacon. Can we block it? Noah asked. We shouldn't, Ella said, joining them. That signal is calling to whatever's waiting for us. And she looked at Noah carefully. It's also calling to others. What others? Noah asked. Before she could answer, Jack's voice came over the intercom. We're approaching the edge of the restricted zone. Everyone better come see this. They gathered in the cockpit. Through the main viewport, they could see a vast emptiness ahead, a section of space that seemed darker than the rest, with fewer stars visible. Sensors are detecting a massive cloaking field, Jack reported. Old technology, but incredibly powerful. It's hiding something big. Can we penetrate it? Ella asked. We don't need to, Noah said suddenly. He felt a strange certainty, knowledge flowing from the implant into his mind. It will let us in. As if responding to his words, the implant sent out a stronger pulse. Ahead of them, a section of the darkness shimmered and then parted, revealing a narrow pathway of clear space. It recognized you, Vera whispered. It knows who you are. Jack guided the ship through the opening. Beyond it lay a star system with a yellow sun and several planets. The third planet was blue and green, so much like Earth that Noah felt his heart clench. But it wasn't Earth. The continents were different, the oceans arranged in unfamiliar patterns. What is this place? Ben asked. Haven, Noah said, the name coming to him through the implant. It's called Haven. As they approached the third planet, something massive emerged from its shadow, a space station of incredible size, clearly built with technology far beyond what the hegemony possessed. That's not all, Ella said, checking the sensors. We're picking up thousands of life signs, human life signs. Noah stared in disbelief. I'm not the last. No, Ella said, smiling for the first time since Noah had met her. You never were. The astral horizon approached the massive space station. As they drew closer, Noah could see it wasn't just one structure but many joined together, forming a ring around a central hub. It reminded him of pictures he had seen of old Earth space stations, but on a much larger scale. We're being scanned, Jack announced from the pilot's seat. Multiple systems are checking us out. A voice suddenly came through the ship's communication system. It was female, calm, and clear. Incoming vessel, you are carrying the Phoenix signal. Please identify. Ella moved to respond, but Noah stopped her. Something told him he needed to answer. This is Noah Carter, he said. I think I'm expected. There was a pause, then the voice returned, now with a hint of emotion. Signal confirmed. Noah Carter, you are cleared to dock at Bay 12. Welcome to Haven. Jack guided the ship toward the indicated docking bay. As they approached, huge doors slid open, revealing a brightly lit hangar large enough to hold dozens of ships. What happens now? Vera asked, looking nervous. As an Aetherian and former hegemony employee, she had reason to worry about her welcome. We find answers, Noah said simply. The ship landed smoothly. Through the viewport, they could see people gathering outside. Actual humans in simple uniforms. Some were pointing at the ship, talking excitedly. They've been waiting a long time, Ella said quietly. As the group prepared to exit, Noah felt his implant warm again. Images flashed in his mind. Schematics of the station, faces of people he'd never met but somehow recognized, systems activating across the galaxy. The ship's ramp lowered. Noah went first, stepping out onto the deck of Haven Station. The gathered humans fell silent, staring at him with wide eyes. A woman stepped forward from the crowd. She wore a white uniform, with a small gold pin shaped like a bird. Her dark hair was streaked with gray, and her eyes held a wisdom that suggested great age despite her youthful appearance. "Noah Carter," she said, "I am Dr. Olivia Wright. I've been waiting for you for over 50 years. How is that possible?" Noah asked. "You look. Youth treatments based on old human technology," she explained. "One of many things the hegemony feared we would share with other species." She looked past Noah at his companions. "You've brought friends." "Allies," Noah corrected. "They helped me escape." Dr. Wright smiled at the group, but focused on Vera. "An Aetherian. Interesting. She's with us," Noah said firmly. "Of course." Dr. Wright gestured toward a doorway. "Please, all of you come. There's much to explain, and very little time. The hegemony will find us eventually." They followed her through corridors filled with humans going about their business. Some stopped to stare at Noah and his alien companions, but most simply nodded respectfully and continued their work. "How many humans are here?" Ben asked, looking around in wonder. 50,000 on this station," Dr. Wright replied. "Another 100,000 in stasis. And there are 11 other facilities like this one, hidden throughout the galaxy." Noah stopped walking. "Over 1 million humans survived. How is that possible?" "The hegemony hunted us for decades. The hegemony found what we wanted them to find," Dr. Wright said. "The purge was real, but we had prepared for it. The best minds of our species created Project Phoenix 50 years ago, when we discovered the truth." "What truth?" Noah asked. They had reached a large circular room filled with screens and holographic displays. Dr. Wright waved her hand, and the center of the room lit up with an image of the galaxy. "The truth about humanity's place in the stars," she said. "We weren't newcomers to the galactic community, Noah. We were the first. Human civilization reached the stars long before any other species, and then something happened. We disappeared, fell back to Earth, lost our memory of what we had been." Noah stared at the display as certain points of light began to pulse, ancient human outposts scattered across the galaxy. "The hegemony found our old technology," Dr. Wright continued. "They built their civilization on it, and when we returned to space and began to discover the truth, they decided to wipe us out." Noah finished. "Yes, but they failed." Dr. Wright smiled grimly. "And now, thanks to you activating the signal, all our hidden systems are waking up. The time has come to reclaim our place." 3 days passed on Haven Station. Noah spent them learning about humanity's secret history and the full scope of Project Phoenix. His implant was removed, its work complete, but the knowledge it had given him remained. On the 4th day, the alarm sounded. "Hegemony fleet detected," announced a voice over the station speakers. "Defensive systems activating." Noah ran to the command center where Dr. Wright was directing operations. Ella, Jack, Ben, and Vera were already there. "They found us faster than expected," Dr. Wright said grimly. "Grand Minister Calyx himself is leading the fleet. They're calling it the Extinction Fleet." On the main screen, Noah could see hundreds of warships emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the system. "We can't fight that many," Ben said. "We don't need to fight them all," Dr. Wright replied. She pressed a button on her console. "We just need to show them what they're really facing." Outside the station, massive defense platforms that had been hidden in orbit around Haven began to power up. These weren't modern designs, but ancient technology, built by the first human civilization thousands of years ago. "Open a channel to the hegemony flagship," Noah said suddenly. Dr. Wright looked surprised, but nodded to a technician who established the connection. Grand Minister Calyx appeared on screen. He was a Zentari, tall and thin with pale skin and large dark eyes. He looked shocked to see Noah. "The last human," Calyx said. You have led us to the rest of your kind. For that, I thank you. I'm not the last. No replied calmly. And you've been lied to, Minister. Your entire civilization has been built on a lie. Calix's expression hardened. Enough. Your species was dangerous. You would have destroyed everything we built. You mean everything you stole? No countered. The technology that powers your ships, your cities, your weapons, it was all human technology. Technology from our first civilization, the one that reached the stars before any other species. A look of uncertainty crossed Calix's face. These are desperate lies. Then why did you try to wipe us out when we started to discover the truth? Noah asked. You feared us because you knew what we had once been, and what we could become again. On another screen, Noah could see that Vera had established connections with ships throughout the hegemony fleet. She was using her telepathic abilities, amplified by station technology, to share what she had learned about humanity with other Etherians across the fleet. Look around you, Minister, Noah continued. This system isn't just a hiding place. It's one of many outposts established by the first human civilization, preserved for our return. As if on cue, the ancient defense platforms fired, not at the hegemony ships, but into empty space between them. The energy beams connected, forming a massive grid of light. Within that grid, images began to appear, recordings from humanity's past. Cities that reached to the clouds, ships that traveled between stars in seconds, humans working alongside alien species that even the hegemony had never encountered. This was us, Noah said quietly. This is who we were. And this is who we can be again. Not conquerors, but explorers and builders. Throughout the hegemony fleet, confusion spread as Vera and other Etherians shared the truth. Some ships began to break formation, unwilling to fire on Haven. What do you want? Calix asked finally, his voice less certain. A new beginning, Noah answered. The hegemony was built on fear and lies. We want to build something better, together with any who will join us. Around Haven, more systems were activating. The other hidden human facilities throughout the galaxy were coming online, revealing themselves. Millions of humans were awakening from stasis, ready to reclaim their place among the stars. Dr. Wright placed a hand on Noah's shoulder. You did it, she said. You were never the last human. You were the first of the new beginning. On the screen, Grand Minister Calix looked defeated. Behind him, his officers were arguing, some demanding attack, others calling for negotiation. The choice is yours, Noah told him. Continue a war you started based on lies, or help us build a future based on truth. Humanity has returned to the stars. The galaxy will never be the same.